My scariest encounter occurred when I was in middle school. I'm 22 now. I was about 14 years old and was always at my best friend's house. According to my friend and her family, weird things happened frequently at their house, though I thought nothing of the events. My friend often told me stories about hearing footsteps in the attic, cords becoming unplugged for no reason, and lights being switched off. I felt safe in the new house and had no reason to be scared. One afternoon, I decided to take a shower in my friend's parents' bathroom. I went into their room, locked the bedroom door, walked past the sinks, and locked myself into the bathroom with the shower and the toilet. I made sure that there was no way my friend's perverted little brother could get into the bathroom. I started the shower and stripped down. Like most people, I had a routine. I started by washing my hair. I glanced out of the clear, non-tempered glass door while massaging the shampoo into my scalp and saw what appeared to be my friend standing there. Shocked, I did a double take and then proceeded to tell her to get out. Before I could finish my sentence, the blonde girl in the white robe turned around and disappeared without ever opening or closing the door. After hurrying to get out of the shower, I asked my friend why she was in the bathroom. She said that she had never entered the bathroom. No one else in the house was blonde like her. The event was so shocking that I was unable to take showers in showers with clear glass for about 6 years. After the 6 years, now I put towels over the sides of the shower so I can't see outside of the glass. I even had to go to therapy for this event. People have blamed it on steam. People have blamed it on the glass. I know what I saw. It was only about 2 feet in front of me. Ghost in the shower. When I was small, about 10, I went to go visit my aunt. She always had stories to tell me, and I would always tell her to tell me ghost stories. But she wouldn't because my mother was always there, and she was really afraid of virtually any ghost stories. Well, that time I went, my mom stepped out, so I was able to talk to her alone. She told me that when she was about 14 or 15, she went to take a shower. The showers where she lived were different. Instead of them inside, they were outside. She said that she took her buckets of water and headed outside. She started to take off her clothes when she saw a black figure over her. She thought it was the shadow of her bird, so she ignored it when it disappeared. She started to wet her hair when she noticed a person's feet right next to her. She thought at first someone got in, but when she looked up, she saw a black man dressed as an Indian with scratches all over his face and arms. She didn't know what to do, so she stayed frozen in place and just stared as the man looked at her from head to toe, naked. That's when she screamed, and the man disappeared into thin air. She told my granny, but they could not do anything. From then on, she didn't see the man, but she did see shadows. I asked her if it was true, or if she was making it up, but she promised me it was true. Not so long ago was I in her house by myself when I noticed black shadows there. At first, I thought it was my imagination, but I kept seeing them. That's when I believed the story was true. So, I've read stories on this site forever now, and finally thought I'd join a few weeks ago. I didn't think I'd be posting so soon. This happened to me just the other day and has thoroughly freaked me out. I moved into a small 2-bedroom apartment in the heart of downtown Humble, a small suburb outside of Houston, Texas, about 6 months ago. Now, nothing here has really bothered me, although I've noticed things happening, things moving without me or the 2 other people that live here, moving them. There are cold spots. In my mother's bedroom, I do not feel comfortable in there whatsoever and avoid going in there most of the time. I'm not one who is too jumpy or easily scared either. Anyway, back to my story. It was late. I'd been having nightmares and tossing and turning all night. I woke around 4 with a headache and just decided to give up on sleep. I quietly sneaked out of bed and retrieved some clothes in the dark as to not wake my sleeping boyfriend. My mother was still at work at this time, so I was pretty much alone in the apartment. I really felt uneasy and couldn't figure out why. I went to the bathroom and locked the door behind me, something I don't normally do. I started the shower and got in. I had just finished washing my hair and wiping water out of my eyes when I noticed a shadow standing in the doorway, way too tall to be either Nicholas or my mother. I stood there, staring at it for a good minute and a half. I swear it was just standing there, glaring at me from the other side of the shower curtain. Now, I remind you, I'd be awake for about 10 minutes, 3 of these spent in hot water, so this couldn't have been a dream. I blinked to get water out of my eye, and it was gone, just poof, as if nothing was there at all. I quickly finished my shower and haven't showered with the door shut since. I'm 23 years old, and I've had experiences with the paranormal throughout my entire life. I'm used to seeing things in the corner of my eye and things like that. But this shadow completely shook me to my core. I felt unsafe in my home, and I'm not happy about it whatsoever. When I was alone, I calmly stated out loud that I don't mind sharing the space with any spirits that are here, as long as they don't try to scare or harm any of us, and that anything negative is not welcome here and should leave right now. I then burnt some sage and walked throughout the apartment, but that hasn't seemed to help. I just have this overwhelming sense of doom and sadness since I've ever done so. Any suggestions or advice would help me greatly. I've asked the apartment manager if she knows anything about this place, and she told me that it was built in the early 30s or 40s, and that it at the time had been an old folks' home. Other than that is all I'm aware of. Thanks for reading. This following occurrence happened in early 2011. In fact, it's a string of occurrences that happened then. E, our youngest daughter, and Z, our youngest son, were still living at home at this time. Our oldest daughter and her husband came over for dinner and movie night. Z's girlfriend was also there. About midway into the movie, E decided she would take a shower and go to bed because she had to get up early for classes the next day. She said she was going to use my shower so the hallway bath would be open for when anyone needed it. The rest of us watched the movie to the end. When it was over, I went to the kitchen to get some drinks for everyone. As I walked into the kitchen, I heard a faint cry. It alarmed me. I immediately thought of E, so I headed down to the hall. I looked into her bedroom and she wasn't there. Thinking she was taking a long shower, I turned to my room. When I entered my bedroom, I heard E scream, "Mom!" I opened the bathroom door and right away saw E sitting on the shower floor. She was almost hysterical, screaming, "I can't get the shower door open!" When I grabbed the door handle, a sort of electric static feeling shot through my hand and arm. It was painful enough to cause me to drop my arm, but the door easily came open. E said she was washing her hair when she heard what sounded like someone opening the bathroom door. She said she hollered that she was in the bathroom. She peered through the frosted shower door the best she could. The room door looked closed. She thought she heard a low, deep laugh. It freaked her out so much, she decided to end her shower right then. She said she tried to open the shower door, but it would not open. She pushed and shoved and even kicked the door. It would not budge. My husband and I both tested the shower door over and over again, slamming it, closing it softly, trying to get it to stick, trying to prove to her and ourselves it was just a tricky door. We would not come up with any reasonable explanation for it. I'm not sure if this had anything to do with the above occurrence. However, a few weeks earlier, E was in the shower when she received a text message from unknown number. "I'm watching you." We never found out who sent that message. We went to the police with it, but they said it was impossible to trace. A few days after E's experience in the shower happened, I had my experience in the shower. I was in the shower, water running hot enough that the bathroom was becoming foggy. I could see the fog over the shower door. I heard the bathroom door softly open. Thinking it was my husband coming in, I didn't really pay it much mind. Then I heard what sounded like a giggle. I opened the shower door and looked out to find the room bathed in fog. Right in the middle of the fog was a very dense section in the outline of what looked like a figure. It was about 3 feet tall. I stood there and watched it lift what looked like an arm. I stood there, mesmerized. After a minute or so, the dense section started to spread out, becoming more like the rest of the fog. I closed the shower door and forced myself to finish my shower. I kept telling myself it was just my imagination running wild. A few minutes later, I tried to open the shower door without success. I shoved on it, kicked it, leaned against it. I could not open it. After a few minutes, I tried again. It popped open. The fog had completely dissipated. As I was getting out of the shower, I noticed the window curtain had a little opening in it, just enough where I could see my neighbor's back porch steps. Lounging on his elbow on the steps was a grinning, grayish, hairless, skinny, almost toothless, naked man. He waved. In a blink of an eye, he was gone. I've never told anyone about the guy. Never. He looked dead. I don't know if it was my imagination or some light trick that caused me to think I saw him. I just don't know. At my insistence, a few months later, my husband and youngest son demolished the shower and completely remodeled the bathroom.